Hello and welcome to another Motors.co.uk new car review. Now today we're going to be looking at the striking Suzuki Jimny, but before we do, please remember to subscribe to the Motors.co.uk YouTube channel. And while you're here, please remember to like this video and leave a comment below to let us know what you think of the new Suzuki Jimny. In terms of sheer expectation, the Suzuki Jimny was right up there, replacing a model that had proved itself time and time again and ingrained itself so much in motoring lifestyle, meant that Suzuki had a real problem when it came to replacing it. However, here it is, the all-new Suzuki Jimny. Now it incorporates more creature comforts, yet retains that go-anywhere ability that its predecessor was famed for. But can it prove itself in both of these areas and go beyond where its predecessor left off? We're going to get behind the wheel to find out. The Jimny is a mashup of Land Rover Defender and Jeep Wrangler, which has then been put on a spin wash. It's almost hilariously dinky, but those small proportions and square shape make it exceptionally well suited to going off-road, which is where the Jimny needs to perform. The interior of the Jimny is robust enough to deal with that off-road lifestyle that it's pitched for, but it's also got those creature comforts that you'd want if you were driving it day to day. So you've got features such as air conditioning, you've even got heated seats, but then to contrast that, you've got nice chunky grab handles for the passenger and hard-wearing plastics that really are going to stand up to the test of time. Now, top-level cars get an infotainment screen in the middle as standard, and that gets satellite navigation and media functions, and most importantly, it includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that means that if you are going to connect to your smartphone, it's going to integrate nicely into the car's system. Overall, space-wise, the cabin of the Jimny is a little bit restricted. Up front, there is plenty of headroom and there's a good amount of airiness to the front of the car, though in the back, you are going to struggle for space, both in terms of legroom and just overall spaciousness. Now that said, headroom is very good. As we mentioned, it's a small car, so as a result, it has a small cabin. But I think with the amount of space it's got to use, it's not too bad. Boot space isn't the Jimny's strong suit. With the rear seats in place, there's just 85 litres on offer. It is tiny. However, fold the rear seats down and there's 377 litres of space, while the seat backs have been given a hard cover to help prevent scratches and damage. Now, as we've already mentioned, the Suzuki Jimny is powered by a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated petrol engine, and that's linked to a 5-speed manual gearbox. Now, when you're just ambling around town or driving on roads like we are today, that doesn't prove too much of a problem. However, it's when you take the Jimny on the motorway where things start to unravel, and that's simply because of that gearbox. Because it lacks a 6th cog, it means the engine is constantly buzzing at higher speeds, and this is something well worth considering if you are planning on using your Jimny on the motorway. You do have to remember that first and foremost, the Suzuki Jimny has been designed an off-roader, and that means it's not going to be able to deliver the most refined of driving experiences on the road. And that can be seen in the way the car is set up. You get standard 2-wheel drive, you get 4 high, and you also get 4 low. So realistically, this car isn't going to get stuck anytime soon. And its compact size means that it's easy to drive around town too. Again, that size means that when you are off-road, you can squeeze through narrow spaces, but that's not to say that it's also useful when you're driving in urban environments too. Light steering and light controls in general do mean that this car is far more easy to pilot at lower speeds than you'd expect. When it comes to ride quality, again, the Suzuki Jimny doesn't do all that well. Quite a lot of those lumps and bumps are translated into the cabin, and when you're cornering at slightly higher speeds, the car does have a tendency to lean in an almost comedic fashion. Another element is that really sharp bluff back of the car makes you think that quite often vehicles behind you are quite close. They're not really, it's just because this car is so small, it looks like they're right up your behind even when they're not. Suzuki has made things easy when it comes to engine choices with the Jimny. There's just one. It's a 1.5 litre petrol engine linked to a 5-speed manual gearbox, though an auto is available. There's just 100 brake horsepower and 130 newton meters of torque, which results in a 0 to 60 time of around 13 seconds. Not quick by any margin. Suzuki also claims up to 35.8 mpg, while emissions can be down to 154 grams per kilometre of CO2, depending on wheel size. On paper and out on the road, the Suzuki Jimny could be a difficult car to recommend. It's not awfully refined, it's not brilliant to drive on the road, and it's also quite tricky to pilot on the motorway. However, To judge this car based on those factors is to completely miss the point of it overall. It's absolutely brimmed with character, and if you do want a car that's going to put a smile on your face each and every time you get behind the wheel, then there's no reason why you shouldn't go and try a Jimny out today. Though the Suzuki Jimny is a unique proposition on the market today, there are some other tough off-roaders to look at. And if you would like to see such cars, then follow the links coming up next.